You are tuned into the Literacy Hour with Test Taking Solution and your host, Dr. Kentrell Liddell, MD, MBA. The purpose of this show is to help mitigate health disparities, improving literacy related to health, economics, and education. For all your professional development, professional management, and educational support services needs, contact Test Taking Solution, where we're igniting success. Located at 2104 Thousand Oaks Drive in Jackson, Mississippi. Literacy is knowledge and knowledge is power. Thank you for joining the Literacy Hour. And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Literacy Hour. It's kind of cold out there this morning. I hope that you are all bundled up and warm. We're just mighty glad to have celebrated. Yes, thank you so much. You guys, listen, you're on it, and I do appreciate all the encouragement. Thank you so much again for tuning in. I was saying that we've had a really good time on yesterday, day of service. I was able to get some critical mission type work done with some fellow Tougalooans yesterday, and we're very happy with how all of that turned out. So let's go ahead and jump right into today's episode. Make sure that I can hear you and you can hear me. Let's see here. Wonderful. Okay, good. Well, on behalf of the scholars, the staff, and the board of directors at the Test Taking Solution Foundation, we're extremely grateful for all of your continued love, support, and generosity. For those of you sponsoring scholars in grades K through 12, I know you're mighty proud of them, and I am too. All of our team members are. But for your support, I'm convinced that a few of the children would have given up by now. Listen, the phone line is open. And if you'd like to join the discussion this morning or to share your thoughts on air, or if you'd like to sponsor a child to help him or her access high quality tutorial services, homework assistance, test prep services, please call the number 601-714-8378. Again, I'm your host, Dr. Kentrell Liddell, and today is January 20th, 2026. Of course, without the year, just with the date and the month and the day, it's my son's birthday. Yes, it's a very special day for me and for him. If you follow Test Taking Solution on social media, you'll know that we've been celebrating Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the courage and wisdom that he displayed during his lifetime. I really enjoyed listening to Pastor Jackson's perspective and his memories shared this morning. And I thank Brother Larry Armstrong for always just being on the wall. He was wise enough to allow some of our living legends an opportunity to share with us. And we'll be hearing more from many of our living legends as the month goes on. I know over at St. Matthew's MB Church, we're celebrating Black History Month, all of February. And on that third Sunday, we're going to hear from some elders of the church. Yes, people in their late 70s and 80s, and just listen to them talk to us about the civil rights era. Some things that perhaps we don't know, especially since a lot of it is not being taught anymore, taught formally, that is, in the schools. I hope and I am confident, though, that families are continuing to share with the little ones the struggle, all about the things that our people have had to endure, how far we've come, and how much farther we still have to go. Like Brother Armstrong, I am remembering Dr. King all week long. To keep up with our work, I want you to follow us on social media, Instagram and Facebook. I know it's called Meta now, but I like the name Facebook better.
The great moving factors which you have from time to time advocated, Dr. King, is this philosophy of love being a most potent and uh, effective agent for dealing with social problems, even discrimination. I wonder if you would discuss that for us briefly. Yes, I would be very happy to. I think one of the problems that oppressed people always confront is the problem of how one can stand up and resist the forces of evil. And there's always the feeling on the part of some that there is no way to resist evil without hating the evildoer and using violence to destroy the forces of evil. But I am of the opinion, and this grows out of my Christian background as well as my study of Mahatma Gandhi, who used the method of nonviolent resistance on the larger scale that it has been used in the modern world. Uh, I'm of the opinion that it is possible for one to stand firmly and courageously against an evil system and yet not use violence to stand up against it and also not hate in the process. It is possible to love the individual who does the evil deed while hating the deed. That
Wow. It's still possible to love the evil doer while hating the evil deed. What a wise statement made by a wise man. And that statement still rings true today. The information shared during the literacy hour, either by the host or guest, is for educational purposes and does not constitute medical, legal, financial, or tax advice. For specific advice applicable to your situation, I want you to do what I always recommend that you do, and that is that you consult a licensed, certified professional. We are Mississippi Strong. We got a lot of great things going on. We got a lot of great economic developments going on. And this is third Tuesday. Financial literacy is what we focus on today. Right here on the Literacy Hour, you receive relevant, up to date, accurate information. I do have a lot to share. Our team wants to make sure that you're well informed about resources that are available in our community because we just believe that when we learn better, we tend to make better informed decisions. I have a few announcements before I get into the topic of today. And one of those announcements is that Doctors Melvin Collins and Teresa Ratliff, they're inviting us to a scheduled Zoom meeting. The topic for this month's meeting is the year of honoring grief and loss while choosing compassion and self kindness. Now, I don't want you to think this is just any old Zoom meeting. It's not. It's a good grief support and educational group. And my goodness, it's powerful. That is the one word I can use to describe the moment that occurs on third Tuesdays at 6:30 via Zoom as people deal with their grief and as these um, expert counselors um, help us to walk through and manage and address the pain and the trauma. They help us to 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 unpack it all, and they give us wonderful coping mechanisms and skills by which to better heal from these traumas. the trauma of grief, the trauma of losing something very dear or someone very dear. And so, if you are experiencing grief, if you have lost something and you're having a challenging time coping, I recommend that you tune into that Zoom meeting. Good Grief Support and Educational Group. It's a standing meeting, it's a standing session, group session. They handle it with the utmost expert skill. And I hope you tune in. If you need that information, you know what to do. Just give us a call, 601 714 8378. We'll be very happy to share that information with you. Good morning to you as well. Thank you so much. You all are welcome to call in anytime. 601 714 8378. You all got me going off all kinds of ways here, and I appreciate it. You wait until I get on air, and there you go. And that's wonderful. I'm glad that you're joining me. Listen, building healthy relationship classes, they're now underway at St. Matthew MB Church, 3660 Fontaine Avenue in Jackson, Mississippi. The first class was held December 12th. And let me tell you something else now. Reverend Dr. Collins is a wonderful small group facilitator. He challenged everyone in attendance to first reflect on who we are as people. Who are you as a person? What do you want out of a relationship? He even asked the group to define what a healthy relationship is. What does it look like? And the word that kept coming up was respect. Of course, other words like trust and supportive and other positive descriptors were thrown out. And then we explored aspects of an unhealthy relationship. How does that look? Control, demeaning, calling your partner or significant other out of his or her name, being dishonest, a lack of trust, a lack of intimacy. These are unhealthy, very unhealthy. And at the end of the class, the participants' evaluations were excellent. They rated the instructor a 10 out of 10, the class a 10 out of 10, and I must concur. I don't think it could have been done any better. Now, the next class will be held right there at the church, St. Matthew MB Church, 3660 Fontaine Avenue in Jackson, Mississippi, on January 26th, starting at 6 p.m. Someone asked after I talked about it on the Literacy Hour last week if you have to be a member to attend the class, and the answer is no. Someone asked, do you have to be married? No. And do you have to be hooked up with anybody? No. It's building healthy relationships. And as you know, there are all types of relationships. We have relationships between parents and children, employers and employees. And of course, we have those love relationships. But I think you will find the information that's being shared can be translated across all of those type relationships. If you cannot attend in person, which is the preferred method, you may be able to just call in. So give us a call at 601 714 8378, and we'll connect you with that wonderful resource of building healthy relationships. Lots of good things going on over there at St. Matthew. I'm just so thankful and grateful that we remain community focused over there. There are relationship classes on site every other Monday. They got Bible study on site on Tuesdays, starting at 6 o'clock, is my understanding, and Bible study by phone conference on Wednesdays, starting at 6 o'clock. I've been attending Bible study. I have really, really, really enjoyed um, um, calling in and hearing the word be shared. I love the Bible, and I know many of you do as well. And it's just so wonderful to hear someone who is well trained to help us unpack some of that historical information that's often shared. But then more than that, the moral of the text of the scriptures. And so we got a lot of resources, a lot of things going on. They're having a clothing giveaway on Saturday, January 24th in the back parking lot. Yeah, so if you or someone you know needs a new wardrobe or looking for some clothing, they'll be giving them away over there at St. Matthew, 3660 Fontaine Avenue. We got other things going on in the community as well. We have the annual South Jackson Parade coming up. That parade begins at 9 o'clock at the Little Caesars parking lot on McDowell Road. It's going to end at Cardoza Middle School, just like it did last year. Vendors will be set up at Cardoza for your pleasure. There'll be festivities and a fun zone over there as well. For those of you not familiar with Cardoza Middle School, it's located at 3180 McDowell Road. That's in Jackson. So, the Association of South Jackson Neighborhoods is sponsoring that annual parade, and they are seeking vendors, bands, dance, cheer groups. Everyone's welcome. If you're interested in learning more about the ASGN, that's Annual South Jackson Association of South Jackson Neighborhoods, if you're interested in learning more about the parade or maybe about the work that they do, I want to invite you to contact Brother Ernest Ward. His telephone number 601 201 3020. Okay, you can also contact Brother Johnny Bird 601 720 9965. Brother Bird's like a brother to me. I appreciate him so much. He's hardworking and just always displaying compassion, care, and concern for others. I think he just got his store opened up there in the Delta. I think his mom owned that store many years ago, and he has now opened it back up for the community. And I'm just so proud of him. They had a bonfire up there not long ago. It's the Bird Grocery Store and Cafe. Again, established a long time ago, 1940, up there in Shaw, Mississippi. So if you're up there in Shaw, I want you to stop by Bird Grocery Store and Cafe, 360 Highway 442. Very proud of Brother Johnny Bird. If your church or organization is doing something wonderful to uplift our community and you want the Literacy Hour audience to hear about it, give us a call, 601-714-8378. And if it's positive information, uplifting information, I'll certainly share it. But now I won't share the other stuff. Okay. Again, Mississippi is being blessed by a lot of financial assistance. 2026 is already turning out to be a good year. I'm very happy about it, and I know that you are too. We'll keep you posted about the Rural Health Transformation Program we spoke on about second Tuesday, Health Literacy Tuesday. If you want to listen to that episode, just go to our YouTube channel, and that is the Test Taking Solution Foundation YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for putting that up on the screen. Thank you. So that people can find that easily. Test Taking Solution Foundation YouTube channel. And hey, all the episodes are archived right there. So you want to learn more about the Rural Health Transformation Program and what's going on with that, as well as a lot of other resources concerning health. Click on our second Tuesday archived episode. Just look at your calendar, see what date it is that you're trying to hear what happened on the Literacy Hour, and go back to that date. And I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. The phone lines are open, 601-714-8378. I want to talk about some legislation because, as you know, we care about anything that enhances literacy and mitigate health disparities. The legislators returned to the Capitol on January 6th, and they began work on new legislation new laws, you all, that we will have to abide by when they become effective. And most of the time, the laws become effective July 1st. But now don't hold me to that, because you know the only thing constant is change. Things can change. When the governor signs a bill, that bill becomes law. He has veto power. He can veto a bill, turn it back around, tell it to go back. It will not become law. Or indeed, he can sign bills into law. The 2026 legislative session will end on April the 5th of this year. So mark your calendars for April 5th, and know then that everything that is to be discussed, all the bills that are to come out of the various committees, will be done. That's it. And we'll have to wait to another legislative session, unless, of course, the governor calls a special session, at which time sometimes some bills and some things are discussed. But our usual 2026 legislative session ends on April the 5th. On the first day of the session, they passed bills that would provide teachers with a $2,000 pay increase and parents with school choice. And we'll tell you more about these on first Tuesday in March, okay, when we explore education literacy. We do that on first Tuesdays. And I have a whole lot that I want to share at that time about some of the things that are being considered and discussed, centered around education, literacy, all things education related. We're going to discuss it first Tuesday in March. It's not far away. So I want you to stay tuned, locked, and loaded to the Literacy Hour. We will explore House Bill number 2, House Bill 2, in great depth on first Tuesday in March. Yep, House Bill 2. You can go ahead and look it up. It's called the Mississippi Educational Freedom Program Act. Mississippi Educational Freedom Program Act of 2026. And it's established to provide greater flexibility and opportunity for school choice. Co-sponsored by Representative Jason White and Representative Jansen Owens. It's a very large bill, and it's what we call an omnibus bill. Omnibus. 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 No, it's just a Latin word. Yeah, it's not that bad. It's a Latin word. It means for all. Don't consider it a big word. For those scholars listening to me, I know you listen into the Literacy Hour on your way to school. You tell me during the after school program. I really appreciate it. Shout out to all of you. I want you to pay attention in school today. And I also want you to remember this word, omnibus, because we just might be asking that word of you. And I'm saying first Tuesday in March. And listen, I'm skipping all over February. Thank you so much. Wow, I love you guys. Thank you for keeping me straight. I'm trying to get to March, and we haven't even gotten into February yet. So yeah, the first Tuesday in February is when we're going to discuss House Bill number 2. You see, I don't mind being corrected. Why? Because we're human and we make mistakes. But I'm just so glad that we have a Savior who covers all of our errors and who came and died for our sins, hung right there on the cross. And I remember him and will always remember him. And what I try to do is to uplift our community, our people, in such a way that God gets the glory. He deserves it. He is so worthy of all of our praise. And so this House Bill number 2, let's see what it does. Let's see if it's going to help the situation that's going on educationally within our state. Now, we've made great strides. I know you've heard about it. Our fourth graders are showing out as far as reading is concerned. And I'm going to tell you all about it on first Tuesday in February. Again, thank you so much, my love. And thank you so much, those of you who are listening in and you don't feel bashful by either calling in or texting me or emailing me. and you don't mind correcting, and I appreciate it so much. But omnibus is a Latin word, and it means for all. It refers to something that covers many things all at once, like a legislative bill, combining several topics. So we'll discuss the Mississippi Educational Freedom Program Act of 2026, House Bill number 2, on the first Tuesday in February. Well, this is third Tuesday, and we are eagerly watching for bills that pertain to keeping Mississippians healthy and strengthening Mississippi's economy. Now, the Senate Public Health Committee met on November 6, 2025, to discuss infant mortality. They met at our state's capital. I was there. It was open to the public. And so they were transparent. It's nothing to hide. They were talking about a topic around which our current public health emergency was ordered on August 21st, 2025. Yeah, we're still under that public health emergency, and we should be. We should not come from underneath it until we start seeing our state's infant mortality rates improve, because it is a shame. It is shameful. It is painful, especially for the families involved who have lost an infant before that baby can reach his or her 12th, first birthday, the 12th month of life. Many great minds are finally at work addressing the problem. And I say finally because, well, I mean it. It didn't just happen overnight. The issue has been an issue. But finally, thanks to the courage, the wisdom, the understanding, the medical expertise, background, foresight of our chief medical officer, Dr. Daniel Etney, and his team over at the State Department of Health. They're on the wall trying to keep us Mississippians safe. He got in, he did his evaluations, his analyses, and determined that no, we can't keep going in the direction we're going regarding maternal health and infant mortality. Healthy moms, healthy babies. Any great initiative, though, is going to cost money. So I want to tell you about a very promising cash assistance program on this Financial Literacy Tuesday here on the Literacy Hour. A cash assistance program was introduced during that hearing that I attended. And so, quite naturally, because the presentation was so good, I decided that we would be on the lookout for related legislation this session that would reference that cash assistance program. I knew it because this is not my first merry-go-round, and it's not yours either. Okay? I knew that because that presentation, the content of the presentation was so promising, was so inspiring, was almost unbelievable, that there was going to be some movement by some legislators to perhaps enact a similar program in our state. So I want to take some time this morning because it has to do with finances, right? I know normally we're learning about financial terms and financial literacy and how to budget and this and that. Listen, that's all very, very important, but it's not important when you don't have any money to budget. Don't talk to me about budgeting if I don't have any money to budget. Don't talk to me about credit cards and credit scores if it's already messed up and I don't have any resources to get it straightened out. We want to talk about resources. We want to learn about resources. Are there any jobs? I told you about Bio Creek last Tuesday. Yeah, that company and how they were having a job fair. That's the kind of information we want to continue to share. Information that will help to put some money in your pocket to be able to pay your bills and to live. Affordability is not just a buzzword, it matters. Folks feel bad when they can't afford something. for themselves and especially for the ones whom they love, such as their children. So, a lot of our health issues have to do with access. Who's going to go to the doctor and have to pay a copay eh, if you don't have the money to do so? Access is an issue when you lack resources. And so, this cash assistance program, thank you. Go ahead and call in if you have some comments, 601-714-8378. But this cash assistance program was introduced during that hearing, and I be doggone if a bill is not currently active that reflects that presentation. The bill is House Bill 35. House Bill 35. It's called the RX Kids Program. You know, whenever you see the letter R and the letter X, capital R, lowercase x, you think about a pharmacy, right? You think about medications. You think about a prescription. Well, this is the RX Kids Program. And the purpose of this program, you all, is to provide time limited. Time limited. It means it's not forever. It means there's a limit on the time. Time limited assistance to pregnant women during pregnancy and for 12 months after birth. I love it. Representative Omeria Scott introduced this bill, House Bill 35, an act to create the Mississippi RX Kids program as a pilot program. You know what pilot means? It just means a study. We're going to do it on a small scale, see if it works. And then, if it's successful, we will do what any successful business does. We will scale, we will expand the program. House Bill 35 is what I'm talking about if you're just joining us. We're talking about a very promising cash assistance program that was first introduced during the Senate Public Health Committee meeting on November 6, 2025. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you all about it. Just stay locked and loaded. Take your notes. You're going to be very informed about House Bill number 35 because it's going to put some money, some finances, some cash in the pockets of pregnant women during pregnancy and for 12 months after birth, should this bill become a law. You hear that, students? Test taking solution scholars? A bill is not a law. It's a bill. It's legislation. It's information, content, words on a page that must be discussed and debated. And once it's all fleshed out, it goes to the governor's desk. That's if it comes out of committee. Now, if it doesn't get discussed, if it doesn't get debated, it dies in committee. It just goes away like it never existed. And a lot of bills die that way. Okay. But House Bill 35 is alive and well right now. And that bill is called the RX Kids Program. It's time limited, economic assistance to all pregnant women. Did you hear me say all? There are no conditions. If you're pregnant, it's the only one, right? All pregnant women in those counties who are experiencing an acute economic hardship during their pregnancy and for 12 months after giving birth. House Bill 35. To specify the eligibility criteria for the program and amounts of cash prescriptions that the women is eligible to receive, and that's woman is. TTS scholars, I want you to get that subject verb agreement absolutely right today in class, okay? Is the woman is eligible. The women are. We use are with the plural. That's a plural use of that verb for a plural noun. Women are. Woman is. So another purpose of this House Bill 35 is to establish the criteria, the amount of money that the cash prescription will be for the woman who is eligible to receive it. You see? That's why it's called RX Kids Program. The prescription is cash. The prescription is money. House Bill 35, another purpose, to provide that the program is a public private partnership that combines public funding from state and federal sources with private funding. And if my memory serves me correctly, the people who presented it says we already have some money to get you jump started. We have some private funding to give you, Mississippi, to jumpstart the pilot program. Isn't that wonderful? They told us how much. I wrote it down. It's in my notes. But I want you to know that House Bill 35 is alive and well. They are inside of that particular bill, providing that that program is going to be a public private partnership. That means it's going to combine public funding from state and federal sources with some private money from private organizations, corporations, businesses, etc. The other purpose of House Bill 35 is to provide that the program shall be based at and administered by the University of Mississippi Medical Center. That's what the bill says. Something always has to have a leader now. You got a program of this magnitude being implemented. Somebody got to administer the program. And this bill is calling for the administrators to be housed at the University of Mississippi Medical Center. It also provides UMMC, that's University of Mississippi Medical Center, that's my alma mater, shall contract with a nonprofit to provide for the administration of the program. Okay. So it may not necessarily have to be administered by UMMC. They can contract with a nonprofit entity to provide for the administration of the program. House Bill 35's purpose is also to provide that the cash prescriptions are considered to be non-taxable private gifts made by the nonprofit entity. You see how they thought of everything? You see? So, because sometimes you can give folks cash and then it has an unintended consequence, like the discrimination financial assistance program. It makes no sense to me that farmers were given financial assistance after having been discriminated against for so long and in such horrific ways, very shameful, degrading ways, and then have to turn around and pay taxes on the financial assistance they were given. That makes no sense whatsoever. It's awful. It's awful. But that's exactly what happened with the DFAP program. That's the Discrimination Financial Assistance Program. Come and gone. And farmers are having to deal with the IRS now, having to make payments on the money they receive. So House Bill 35 had foresight. House Bill 35 includes in this bill that the cash prescriptions will be considered non-taxable. Way to go, authors of this bill. Who is that? Representative O'Meara Scott, the forerunner. You best believe it's some folks backing her up now, but she's the one that introduced the legislation. Another purpose of House Bill 35 is to provide that the nonprofit entity shall distribute the prescriptions. And what are the prescriptions? Cash. That's right. You're listening. You're doing a great job of understanding and comprehending what I'm saying. Welcome to the Literacy Hour. That's what literacy is all about. Being able to access information, find what you're looking for, then being able to understand what you just found and found out and learned and discovered, being able to understand all of that, and then being able to use it to make better informed decisions. I want you to be informed about these cash prescriptions referenced in House Bill 35, a bill that is active right now at our state's capital. The legislature is considering it. Okay. Another purpose of this House Bill 35 is to provide that the nonprofit entity shall distribute the prescriptions as direct deposits for financial institutions or through reloadable debit cards. Way to go, authors. They have a good sense and a good understanding that not everybody is banked. Not everybody has a bank account. Not everybody has money in the bank. Some folks live by way of reloadable debit cards, and there's nothing wrong with that. It just is what it is. Sometimes some of us just assume that folks got bank account. What's your bank account? Now I want to direct. What's your routing number? Stop all of that and begin to look at people on an individual basis and talk to them to find out where they are in life, what they're doing, how they're doing it, how they're moving. And let's stop in 2026 making a lot of assumptions and thinking we know it all, because we don't. But we have experts that come to the table and craft bills like House Bill number 35, the Mississippi RX Kids program, a pilot program that's going to provide time-limited economic assistance in the form of cash prescriptions to all pregnant women in those counties experiencing an acute economic hardship during their pregnancy and for 12 months after giving birth. Another purpose of House Bill 35 is to provide that all cash prescriptions shall be funded using a mixture of private and public funds. Another purpose of House Bill 35, yep, I've said it several times. Why? Because repetition is a dear teacher, and I want you to remember House Bill 35. House Bill 35 might just be a game changer, you all. It might just help us get out of this, this quagmire, this horrific position we find ourselves in with these just unbelievable, unacceptable infant mortality rates. This might help. We got to try something, because what we've been doing hasn't been working. The numbers are still going up. The rates are still going up. It means that it's not working. Hey, if you keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. You see where it's going. Be smart. Do something different. So House Bill 35 is saying, let's try a pilot program. Let's try putting cash assistance, cash prescriptions, economic assistance, financial assistance. Let's try getting it to the pregnant women during pregnancy. Let's try getting it to them 12 months after birth, because they got to take care of that baby that was just born, right? Should the baby be born. You know, we have a significant number of stillbirths, babies who are born deceased. But for those who are born 12 months after that baby's birth, this bill, House Bill 35, is saying let's financially assist that woman. And I know, and I'm very cognizant of, and these leaders know as well, because it came up during the hearing. As a matter of fact, Representative O'Meara Scott, I remember her saying, I was sitting right there, and if they recorded it, you too can hear it. Just go play the committee meeting back, and you will hear her say as well, let's not forget about the male partners, because it takes two to tango. It takes two to make a baby now. And so even though we're providing this time-limited assistance to pregnant women by way of House Bill 35, there's a man on the other side of the situation too. And we would hope that this bill would assist the family, that whole family. But of course, the money has to have a name on it. So it's going to go into the name of the pregnant woman during pregnancy and for 12 months after birth. Another purpose of House Bill 35 is to provide that the program shall use TANF funds through non recurrent short term benefits. TANF, TANF. I think that means temporary assistance, nutrition, something other. Let me for needy families, something like that. Temporary assistance for needy families, I believe it is. But that's why we have resources, isn't it? We look it up. We don't guess. Temporary assistance for needy families. I'm correct. TANF. It's a United States federal program providing block grants to states to help low income families with children achieve economic self sufficiency through cash assistance for food, housing, energy, child. Yeah, okay, so that's the reason for TANF to provide cash assistance for food and housing and energy and child care. But now I understand that the TANF program has had some issues in our state. I'm not going to take this time to go through it, but I'm being reminded that obviously the monthly payments for basic needs, the cash assistance, isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing or hasn't done it in the past or something. I understand some people who applied for the money got turned down and this and that. It's a lot going on with that program. So now in this bill, House Bill 35, what I'm hearing is, and not just hearing, but reading, is that another purpose of this House Bill 35 is to provide that the program should use TANF funds through non recurrent short term benefits for the prenatal transfers and the first 3 months of infant transfers for all Medicaid covered prenatal care and births. They're going to have to break that down and really help us understand how you're going to use funds from a program if the program itself has been flawed. What's that all about? I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking questions, and I'm sure these are some of the discussions and questions that will come up. If I don't know something, I ask. And if I'm wrong about something, I love for you to correct me on it. I appreciate it. I welcome it. Another purpose of House Bill 35 is to provide that the program must use other public non TANF funds or private funds for the other 9 months of infant transfers and for all prenatal care and births that are not covered by Medicaid. Okay. So you're going to use TANF funds for the first 3 months. And this is for all the Medicaid covered prenatal care and births. And then for the next 9 months is for infant transfers and prenatal care and births that are not covered by Medicaid. Boy, what I would give to be a fly on the wall as legislators are discussing House Bill 35. That's the bill I'm telling you about right now. House Bill 35, RX Kids Program. Another purpose of it is to direct the Department of Human Services amend, that means change, you all, to amend or change. For those who don't know, don't assume that everybody knows what amend means. But it's directing the Department of Human Services to amend the state plans of certain public benefits programs to exclude all cash prescriptions under the program from the income calculators for those programs and to apply for any necessary federal waivers. I love it. They're trying to just really make sure that the women who receive these cash prescriptions are not hurt financially by receiving the cash prescriptions, that they use the cash prescriptions to take care of themselves and the babies 12 months after birth, but then themselves during pregnancy. And in order for someone to even propose something like this, they have to have studied and determined that, well, an issue must be that women need money during pregnancy and women need money 12 months after the birth of a baby. We know theoretically that this might be true, but again, now I don't talk out of the side of my neck. We need data. We need hard data. And that's probably why it's a pilot program. They're probably going to target the most economically strapped county in our state. And I don't know what county that is. I'm sure the powers that be, those who follow the data, those who care, those who give a darn, they know exactly which counties in our state are struggling. And so this program will most likely be piloted in that county. I guess they'll look at, the employment rates, unemployment rates, look at job availability, things like that. Those are some good data points that they could potentially look at. Crime rates, things like that, to help them determine where this pilot program should take place. But the Department of Human Services amend the state plan so that this money will be excluded from income calculators. Also, the purpose of House Bill 35 is to provide that the pilot program shall be operated for a period of 3 years. Okay, so if it becomes effective, let's say July 2026, then by July 2029, we ought to have some good outcomes to look at, some good data to analyze. And that's what you do, even in science, you all. The scientific method is the same way. You have a scientific question. You're concerned about something. You have a question about something. You're wondering about something. And you develop your hypothesis, what you think will happen, what you think is the answer to the question. But then you study it. You put some things in place, some programs, uh, uh, some experiments. You put all of that in place to study the problem, the issue, and potential interventions. That's a pilot program. Sounds like a scientific experiment. Yeah, they're very similar. And then, in this case of this bill, at the end of 3 years, they're going to be able to make some hardcore determinations. Well, some science projects don't take that long. They could. But for those of you scholars, test taking solution scholars, whom we help with your science fair projects, and who you go on to win first, second, third place in your science fairs. Some of you have gone on to regional and state science fairs. We even had a student to make it to the national science fair. That's right. Your experiments didn't last 3 years. Your experiments were short. And so, but this experiment, this pilot program, House Bill 35 is referencing, will last for 3 years. And another purpose of this House bill is to provide that during the period of operation and at the end of the program, the University of Mississippi Medical Center shall measure and evaluate the outcomes of births in the counties in the program. All right, there we have it. So it's not going to be one county, it's going to be counties, plural, more than one in the program. And provide such information to the legislature. I love it. That somebody will come back and give a report to our legislature, inform our legislators, who can then make better informed decisions. That's what it should be about. Our state is great. Our state is beautiful. And the issues and challenges that we have can very well be studied. We can get to the bottom, the root cause of what's going on, and then address that root cause. Now, I'm not sitting here saying House Bill 35 will be the complete answer to our infant mortality problem. Not at all. It's a lot more we got to do. We got to have access to care. You can give folks all the money they want. It's not going to do a thing if they don't have access to high quality family medicine doctors, obstetricians, gynecologists, pediatricians. If they don't have access to quality health care and got to drive miles and miles and miles to get to the nearest hospital, etc., it means nothing. It won't do very much. And that is why the State Department of Health is still busy working other solutions. Yeah. putting systems in place to help address this issue. And so a lot of people, um, other than me, attended that committee hearing on November 6, 2025. As a matter of fact, Sophia Paffenroth is a journalist. She works with Mississippi Today. She wrote an article, Lawmakers Explore Cash Assistance for New Moms, No Strings Attached. What a nice title. She put a picture of the RX Kids Michigan founder and director, Dr. Mona Hanna, who answered questions posed by the legislators. She's the one who did that presentation. And again, that happened November 6, 2025 at the state capitol. What would happen if every mother in Mississippi or in Mississippi's neediest counties received no questions asked cash assistance during pregnancy and for 12 months after the baby is born? I want to hear from you. 601-714-8378. We have a few minutes. If you think that this will work, let me hear from you. If you don't think it will work, let me hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts about this cash assistance program. The conversation during the presentation, just so you know, it focused really on a program called RX Kids that's ongoing in Flint, Michigan. Mm-hmm. And they branded theirs as a prescription to poverty. Dr. Mona Hanna, the program's founder and director and the associate dean for public health at Michigan State University, presented her initiative to Mississippi lawmakers in House and Senate Public Health Committees. Okay, so it was a joint meeting. I said it was the Senate Public Health Committee meeting, but obviously it was a joint meeting between the House and the Senate Public Health Committees. But Dr. Hanna presented this program, RX Kids, as a way to combat infant mortality. Nationwide, infants die at a higher rate in Mississippi than in any other state. And now we got folks coming in from other states saying we can help you. Michigan State comes down here saying we can help you. Now, I don't know how I feel about it, but I will tell you that I'm glad they offered the help. But I'm going to continue to say we have some of the greatest experts, smartest folks around right here in Mississippi. We know what the issues are. We didn't really need anybody from Michigan to come down here and tell us. We know what's going on. And when we start loving each other, when we start acting like we're all Mississippians and we all matter, a lot of these issues, health issues, economic issues, and otherwise, will go away. I played Dr. Martin Luther King's speech a moment ago, and he was talking about how love conquers all. You can hate the evil that folks do and not hate the evildoer. We have to love one another. And so I'm grateful to Dr. Mona Hanna from Flint, Michigan, coming down, telling us about the RX Kids Michigan program. And I'm thankful that Representative O'Meara Scott has introduced House Bill 35 to mirror that program as a pilot program here in Mississippi. That's all fine. But we have some really big, deep issues in our state. Mississippi doctors, we need more. We got doctors sitting on the sideline because of this law 99-1935. Makes no sense whatsoever. We're sitting on the sidelines. Mississippi doctors, though, offered context during that hearing, talked about the rising infant deaths. I've been sharing it here with you, telling you what they said. RX Kids gives $1,500 to moms during pregnancy and $500 a month for 6 to 12 months after the babies are born. The program only applies to mothers in that perinatal window in select communities up there in Michigan. So they told us all about their program and how they've had some excellent outcomes. And so House Bill 35 here, introduced to our Mississippi legislature, is saying, hey, let's give it a try. We'll continue to follow it. I hope that you continue to stay locked and loaded to the Literacy Hour so that you too can hear how things are going regarding this bill, because it matters. It helps to mitigate health disparities, or has the potential to do so. And that's why we at the Test Taking Solution Foundation care about it.
What the person does. This lifts one to a new level of understanding, a
Want
new
you to
level
join
of
me back
thinking.
here again next Tuesday, fourth Tuesday, when we'll be discussing mental health and wellness. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.
I'm not talking about a sentimental, weak love, but I'm talking about a strong love that organizes itself in mass nonviolent action, but at the same time sees within every man something of the image of God and sees within every man grit and vast possibilities for goodness that maybe the individual himself has never realized.